Hello everyone, welcome to A Fistful of Dice. My name is Matt. Trying out a new feature here. Well, it's new to me, it hasn't been new for that long, but it's the ability to go live on YouTube from your phone. So I'm recording this on my phone, hopefully it sounds okay, looks okay. But something that I've been wanting to do for a while, that I haven't had the chance to, is to just basically go through my entire RPG collection here down in my dungeon, go through every book on the shelf and just talk about it a little bit. And I imagine that this isn't going to be a single video. This is going to be a multi-part series that I'll just kind of do whenever I have time. And it'll just allow me a chance to show you guys the different RPGs that I have on my shelf, and also a chance for me to sort of like rediscover some books that I may not remember that I even have, you know? So this is pretty cool. I see that I can see the chat here, and I can scroll through and see them. Oh, that's very cool. Okay, awesome. Yeah, this is my first time doing YouTube Live on my phone. So what we're gonna start with here, and feel free to like ask questions about any of the stuff that I'm showing you guys or anything like that. But what I'm gonna start with are my box sets. I think that's what I'm going to start with, is the box sets. So this is like beginner boxes, campaign settings, all that kind of stuff. So so let's just get started here. So the the first one that I want to show you, and when I first show it to you, you're going to gasp, is a brown box. Now, this isn't an actual brown box. Let's just get that out of the way. Even though it looks like an actual brown box and it seems legit, this is actually a reproduction of the Dungeons & Dragons brown box, made by my good friend Nathan Like over at Earl T. Gray. He does really awesome crafting stuff, and a couple years back he was doing a fundraiser to be able to go on this mission trip. And one of the things that he was offering to people that were donating were these awesome brown box reproductions. And so I jumped on it because there's no way that I'm ever going to be able to afford to actually buy an actual brown box. But it's cool to have a reproduction on the shelf. And the thing is that if you look in the actual box here, it has reproductions of the 3 rule books: the Men in Magic, Monsters and Treasure, and Underworld and Wilderness Adventures of the original D&D rule set. It has all of that stuff in there. And it also has even the little paper advertisement that was included in the brown boxes. So Nathan did an amazing job with this. Basically what he did, as far as I can tell, is he went and he found, the right sized little cardboard box. He covered it in this sort of wood grain finish, which is very in keeping with the brown box, and then printed off the original rule books on high quality sort of paper. So something that is, it's special to me, both because it was made by a good friend of mine, it was made for a good cause, and it's a cool little piece of history. So that is my brown box reproduction that sits in a place of honor on my shelf. So let's see here, looking at comments. Let me move my thumb. Cool. Awesome. Glad to see you guys are here hanging out with me. So yeah, that's my brown box reproduction. The next thing I'm going to show you, this is not chronological, it's just in the order that they were on my shelf, is my D&D 5th edition starter set, which I went to my friendly local gaming store, the one that I used to work at the South Hill Mall, and I picked this up on release day, which for Wizards Network stores was like a week and a half before it came out otherwise. So I had already pre-ordered it on Amazon, the starter set, but I wanted to get my hands on the on the box sooner. So I ended up with 2 starter sets, and I had a sealed 5th edition starter set in the background of my videos for a really long time. If you watch some of my older videos, there was a like cellophane sealed 5th edition starter set in the background sitting on the shelf. But I gave that to a friend for his birthday like a couple years back. So I don't have that one anymore, but this is the starter set that I used when I first started playing 5th edition. There's a crease in it right here from having heavy stuff set on it on top of my shelf. But this is kind of cool. There's the names of the pre-gens written on here, and I can't even remember who I was playing with, man. It was probably my wife, who was she wasn't even my fiance, she was my girlfriend at the time when 5th edition came out, but, yeah, 5th edition was big for me, man, and I remember looking through the rule book and just thinking about how I wanted to get a campaign started, and that campaign would become the Provokers. So I had been playing 5th edition already because the basic rules were out, and I was also involved in the D&D Next playtest, but it was still really cool to actually get my hands on the first physical 5th edition products, and then pretty soon after that, the Player's Handbook came out, and then the Monster Manual, and then the Dungeon Master's Guide. So, and actually it's funny, but this was a joke that I made when I initially did my unboxing of the starter set, but there's this little cardboard tray that they use to take up the extra space in the box so that the books and stuff don't tossle around. But I made the joke that this this included a dice tray. So, so yeah, that's my 5th edition starter set. Lots of people have these, but I will I'll hang on to this forever just because I have good memories with it. And the weekend, man, a lot of stuff happened around this. So this is why I'm making this video, because I am one of those people that attaches memories to objects and books and things like that. And the D&D 5th edition starter set, it makes me think about starting the Provokers. It makes me think about getting engaged, because the same weekend that this came out is the weekend that my wife and I, my girlfriend at the time, took a camping trip to the San Juan Islands here in Puget Sound, Washington, and I proposed to her, and obviously she said yes because we're married now. But we played 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons using the starter set on that trip. The same trip, we played it, not long after we got engaged. We played a little one-shot game out there in the woods on our little picnic table. So not only is 5th edition just my favorite and preferred game system, but it also has a lot of personal significance for me, for the channel. We would go on to form Absolute Tabletop because of the Provokers, and obviously now, like, I write my own books and publish my own books using the 5th edition Open Gaming License. So, yeah, 5th edition is great, man. Speaking of things of historical personal significance, here is another beginner box. This is the Pathfinder beginner box, which is one of the best beginner boxes, I think, ever, just of any game system, any campaign setting. Just from a quality standpoint, from a materials included standpoint, from just the adventure, everything. There's something in here. I'm not sure what all is in here, but we're going to find out in a second. But, so first off, okay, so not to rag on Wizards of the Coast, but the 5th edition starter set, the cardboard is fairly thin. Like I said, it had some heavy stuff set on it on the shelf, and you can see that there's a little wrinkle, little crease there, right? Well, the Pathfinder beginner box is made of the same, like, high-quality glossy cardboard that their pawn boxes are made out of, which is, like, heavy-duty, man. Like, this stuff, you can set heavy stuff on this, and it will stand up. This beginner box, I've had this for, 5, 6, 7 years, something like that. I guess it would have been about 6 years that I've had it. And it's been sitting on my shelf. It's had books stacked on top of it. It's had other boxes stacked on top of it. It's moved with me 4 times, and it's in great shape. So I'm going to open it up here and we'll see what's inside. I don't remember what's rattling in here. Oh, okay, apparently poker chips. So there's a lot of pawns in here. This is this Pathfinder beginner box. This was the first time that we saw these Pathfinder pawns, these little cardboard miniatures that came with these little plastic bases. Like that. You can put them on these little plastic bases. Super high quality, double-sided. I love these little things. I love these Pathfinder pawns. These were my preferred miniatures for many, many, many years, and I have literally thousands of these Pathfinder pawns because I bought every set as soon as they came out for a long, long time. And I love these Pathfinder pawns. Anyway, the beginner box had the first Pathfinder pawns, and the response to them was so positive that Paizo decided to come out with some different sets. So let me get around the pawns here. There's a bunch of poker chips in here too. So I think that at one point I used this box for storage in between games because I have a bunch of aquatic and nautical themed pawns in here. So I must have been running a aquatic game, and there's a bunch of poker chips which I used for inspiration, or rather I called them fate chips for a while. They're basically inspiration. There's a bunch of them in here, so at one point I used this box for storage, but there's still some materials in here if I can get to them. There's some pre-gens. Oh my gosh, there's so much crap in here. This is what happens when you use a box for impromptu storage and then 3 years later open it up and you're like, what the hell? So this came with a quick start rulebook, as well as a short little adventure, as well as an erasable battle mat, pawns, and pre-generated characters, and a set of dice. So it was a really cool, really cool beginner box. So all of the pre-generated characters, very similar to like the character folios from 3rd edition, where it was like a sheet and you opened it up, and it has a little mini character sheet with an explanation for all of the different dice and the different things that you can do. So, and it was interesting, the rules that were included in the Quick Start Guide were not the full Pathfinder rules. They were simplified a little bit. They got rid of like opportunity attacks. There was no flat-footed AC. There were a few other things that they stripped to make the rules a little bit more streamlined and simple. So it was cool, man. It definitely like one of the better beginner boxes ever released for an RPG. And even though I love the 5th edition starter set, like just in terms of like quality and like production, like the Pathfinder beginner box is quite a bit better than the 5th edition starter set. But I don't play Pathfinder anymore. I still own like almost all of my Pathfinder books because I have a soft spot for that system. But I've pretty much moved on completely to 5th edition just because it fits the bill a little bit better for me right now in terms of what I'm looking for from a rule set. So I gotta step over here for just a second and grab a couple more box sets, and we'll go through a couple other ones. My shelf is a bit of a mess right now because I am in the midst of reorganizing, getting rid of a few things, and buying a few other new things. So I'm going to grab a few of these boxes here and we can talk about them, if I can get them out. There's a few classic box sets over here. So I like to collect these classic campaign setting box sets. So I have quite a few of those that we'll be looking at. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh no, I'm knocking stuff over. I just knocked my Kaneda motorcycle over. Alright, here's a big old stack of boxes. I'm just going to start from the top and work my way down, man. So this next box set is, it's not in great shape, but it is one of my most prized possessions. It is a AD&D 2nd edition Forgotten Realms campaign setting box set. And you can see that it is not in the best shape. There's a big hole right here. I picked this up at Half Price Books for around $15, $20. You know, it wasn't super expensive because, again, not in great shape. But the cool thing about it is that it was filled with a bunch of extra stuff that wasn't supposed to be in it. Basically, whoever got rid of it just offloaded it with some extra books, and so I got some extra stuff, which was cool. So this is really neat. I love the Forgotten Realms. It was this setting that I grew up playing when I was first playing Dungeons & Dragons. And it comes with a bunch of maps. I'm not going to unfold all of them, but I'm going to get all these maps framed at one point, but they're different areas of the Sword Coast. And it came with this awesome little hex crawl sheet. And so you would put this hex crawl sheet over the map, and you can mark stuff off with like a wet erase or a dry erase marker. So it actually came with a few of those hex crawl little sheets. I'm just going to set stuff aside. This is like a starter adventure. Kind of fun. Terrible Trouble at Tragador. More maps, 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 maps. Amazing maps. Now here's something that I do not believe was in it to begin with, and it's this book called Elminster's Ecologies, and it's the Battle of Bones, Hill of Lost Souls. This is something that I think was extra, that was not included in the book, in the box to begin with. Now you can tell me if that's not the case, but I'm almost positive that this is something that was not actually supposed to be in this box, and it was just thrown in there. Whoever got rid of it just tossed it in this box, not knowing that it wasn't supposed to be in there. And so this is like an extra thing that I got just from buying this box set. This is kind of cool. The different deity symbols, runes that mean different things, more maps, more runes, more runes. There's a ton of stuff in this box. More deity symbols. This is actually symbols of different factions, which is really cool, like the Zentarum, Cormyr, stuff like that. And then Forgotten Realms Shadowdale. Again, not sure if this was in the box set to begin with. Forgotten Realms Running the Realms. I do believe this was supposed to be in the box set. And then the Forgotten Realms, A Grand Tour of the Realms, which is an amazing book. I really enjoyed reading through that. And then here's one of the coolest things in this box, and I didn't get rid of it just because I don't know why I didn't get rid of it, but it's a sheet of notes from whoever this box belonged to back in the day. It's hit points scratched out, little notes about loot. There's character names written here: Hobgoblin, Goblin, Orc. There's they included Dritzt in their campaign as an NPC at one point. And I just held on to this, man, because it like someone wrote this, someone used this box set, and they were playing Dungeons & Dragons, probably as a kid, and had little notes written down, and I thought that was really, really cool. So that's my AD&D 2nd edition Forgotten Realms box set with all the extra crap that came in it. And I love all the maps and the symbols, the runes, the deity symbols, all that kind of stuff. So we'll go ahead and put the lid back on this guy. And again, it's a bummer that the lid is so janky, but what are you going to do? Okay, we're going to take a jump in time here looking at the next box set. This is the Star Wars Edge of the Empire beginner game. This is the first of the Fantasy Flight Games Star Wars line. There's also Age of Rebellion and Force and Destiny, and there's similar beginner games for those. This is very in keeping with like the sort of Pathfinder beginner box, where you get sort of like, you get dice, you get miniatures, you get maps, you get a couple different books, you get cool pre-generated character folios. Like, it comes with everything you need. My one gripe is that this box it's like if someone set out to design the flimsiest box possible and succeeded. I've kept it just to try and keep all my stuff together, but it bows, it bends, It's very thin. It's definitely not intended for long-term use, and all the stuff in here is fairly heavy. And I think I dumped some stuff in here that wasn't supposed to be in here. So I'm just gonna see what shakes loose here. Okay. So, oh, yeah, those are not supposed to be in there. So one of the things that the beginner game for Edge of the Empire came with was little round, like chits, tokens for characters. So that's what these are, as well as light side and dark side points for the Destiny pool. It also included a bag of, oh, here they are. There's also some really old Lord of the Rings bookmarks in this Edge of the Empire box set for some reason. I have no idea why. I must have been keeping my place in the rulebook at some point, but we've got Arwen and Aragorn and Frodo and Gandalf on the other one. So I still have all of these old bookmarks from... I was in middle school when these movies came out, and my middle school library got the bookmarks, so I collected those bookmarks. No idea what they're doing in there. And then here's the rest of the little chit tokens. So there's ships as well as characters, and the nice thing is that it's not just stuff that's included in the little adventure. It's like anything that you could potentially run using the little beginner kit with what's included in the rules and stuff. So I thought that was really cool. I love it when beginner boxes do that. And again, it also came with the dice and Edge of the Empire and all of the Fantasy Flight games. Star Wars games have those special narrative dice. So getting the box set is a really good way to get an extra dice set. There's also, these are not included in the beginner game, but I put them in here probably when I was moving. I was just looking for a place to put them. But I have 2 sets of the, they're called adversary cards. And they're really, really cool cards that have the basic stats for different NPCs on them for running the game. So it has their basic stats, a little picture on the front, and then stuff on the back about their equipment, stuff like that. So those are really handy for running this game. I really enjoy those. I've got 2 sets of those. I have Citizens of the Galaxy, and then I think this is Scum and Villainy, maybe. It doesn't have the little cover on it anymore. I haven't actually used Citizens of the Galaxy. That's why it still has the cover on it. But this, I've definitely gotten use out of the Scum and Villainy set. So again, this set came with awesome character folios. So you open it up, it has your character sheet, it has the explanation of the rules, what your character can do. I love it when box sets have this kind of stuff. The other nice thing is that they have the leveled up character sheets. When you gain experience and you get to add new stuff, they give you the character sheet in order to do that, as well as the stuff that you can pick on your own from the skill trees, the talent trees, rather. So, I love the characters from this box set. We played a whole campaign with the characters from this box set, actually. We had Pash, but Pash was a woman. My wife played Pash, and we found this miniature online that kind of looked like Pash, but it was a woman. So we had a female Pash, we had Oscara, we had 41 Vex, and we had... we didn't have a Lowrick because one of the other players had played before and wanted to create his own character. So we didn't have Lowrick, but we had... he was like a soldier, and then we had 41 Vex, Oscara, and Pash in our little campaign that we played. So lots of good memories with this game as well. Playing it with my wife and our friends. We're all big Star Wars fans. So other things that were included in here, you got this really cool map that included a map of the ship, which is a YT-1300 Corellian light freighter, obviously, called the Crate Fang. So it's like a Millennium Falcon, but it's orange, which is cool. It's like that burnt orange color. This was nice because you could have, like, if you were doing like a space battle, you could have your little miniatures like in what station you were at. So if someone was on the gun turret, you put them over here, you put people in pilot station. This isn't a system that requires maps by any stretch of the imagination, but it was nice to be able to know just kind of visually sort of where everyone was. And then 3 different maps. One of these is the cantina, the other ones is the control tower for the spaceport, and then there's a full town map of the of Mos Shuta, which is the adventure in here is called Escape from Mos Shuta. You have to steal a ship and get out. So there's a bunch of stuff that comes in this box set, and I kept all of it. There's a, it's funny, Fantasy Flight Games does this. They say, read this first. So they, like, walk you through it. They're like, before you do anything, read this first. So this is like an introduction to the game, the basic rules. It gives you an example of play, which is nice. A couple of scenes about the mechanics and stuff. And then on the back, you have the opening crawl of the adventure Escape from Mos Shuta. This here is like an advertisement for the Long Arm of the Hut sort of adventure path, adventure module. And this was after you finished the adventure that came in the box. You know, read this, here's what you can do next. It kind of led naturally into that. So that's pretty cool. And then the actual books themselves, you have the adventure book, and you have the rule book. And the adventure book is the adventure Escape from Mos Shuta. And it also has kind of a base, very, very basic overview of the rules at the beginning, which is nice. And it also has a little rules reference in the back. And then here is the rule book, which even though this rule book is a bit simplified, I still keep this around if I'm running the game, just because it's really easy to reference the stuff in the back and flip through it and find the stuff that you need. So, and this is cool because it has extra stuff in it, just from beyond the adventure. It has extra gear and equipment. So it has different weapons, armor, little tech devices, grenades, things like that. It also has different gear, comlink, electro binoculars, macro binoculars, hand scanner, med packs, stim packs, disguise kits, all that kind of stuff, as well as different ship stats. So this is, again, one of the better beginner games out there. It really gives you enough to play this game for like quite a few sessions before you're going to run out of material and need to get the core book, which I also own. But yeah, this beginner game, it's awesome. I actually picked up the beginner game after I got the core book. Because I got the core book and I was reading through it and it's a bit overwhelming. There's a lot there, and I decided to pick up the beginner game and just start there. The other thing that is in this box that isn't actually included in the box is this Debts to Pay adventure, which is a short adventure that comes with the Edge of the Empire GM screen. So this isn't actually included in the box set. I just put it in there to keep it nice. Well, as nice as this like toilet paper box is gonna keep it. So I'm gonna put the stuff back in here. So that's my Edge of the Empire beginner game box set, and we've still got a little short stack of box sets to go through here. So we're gonna continue the fun. I'm sorry if I'm not super paying attention to the chat. It tends to fly by pretty quickly on my phone here. So there's the Edge of the Empire beginner game. Set that aside here. So the next box set that I have here is the Advanced Dungeons & Dragons Forgotten Realms campaign set. So this over here, the other one that I had was the second edition Advanced Dungeons & Dragons Forgotten Realms campaign set, and this is the Advanced Dungeons & Dragons Forgotten Realms campaign set. So slightly different material that is included in here. Comes with some awesome books, as well as, again, a bunch of maps and the same sort of hex crawl sort of templates. So you have Cyclopedia of the Realms, which is an awesome book, but I hate the brown on brown. It's brown text on a brown textured paper. It's supposed to look like parchment, but it is, if you have bad eyes at all, it's incredibly hard on the eyes. And then you also have the DM source book of the Realms, which is the rules and also just cool stuff about the setting. Like, it's a really, if you're interested in the Forgotten Realms at all or looking for some inspiration, they're great books. But and then the other stuff that's included again is a bunch of maps. And I really, 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 really like the maps in this one, more so even than the ones in the AD&D Second Edition box set, because these ones are a matte finish. So they have that nice sort of texture to them. They're not glossy at all. They just look really nice. So this is copyright 1987 TSR. So this came out a year before I was born, for reference. So a bunch of maps. Again, I'm not going to unfold them just because I want to keep them nice, but a bunch of maps in there. So this box set was actually sent to me by a viewer. I did not buy this box set. I didn't find it in a half-price books or eBay like I normally do. This was sent to me in a... it was basically a care package that came with this. It came with some dice, as well as a really cool dragon statue that I still have somewhere set up. But this guy was basically, he was getting rid of a bunch of his old D&D stuff. He wanted it to go to a good home. He reached out to me and said, you know, I've really enjoyed your content and your videos. You've helped me get back into D&D. I'm trying to free up some space. My wife and I are moving. I'd like to send you some stuff. And I said, dude, I'll give it a good home. I'll take care of it. I love rescuing old D&D box sets. So, yeah, this one has a lot of personal significance as well, just because, like, someone sent it to me, and it was very, very nice of them, very kind, and it was really cool to get that box from someone that had watched my videos and had sort of connected with me on that level. So, yeah, so I really like that. Good box set. I should probably put the books back in it. No extra stuff in that one, but very, very cool. All right, I'm gonna leave my favorite for last, so we're gonna pull up this one. This one is in terrible shape. I got this off eBay, did not pay a ton for it, so I'm okay with it being in terrible shape. But this is Spelljammer. Again, Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, 2nd edition campaign setting box. Adventures in Space. I actually used this to run a... There actually might be some stuff in here that I'm not even aware of. Oh, there super is. There's like miniatures and stuff in here. I ran a 5th edition Spelljammer game, and I used this box set for inspiration and for modifying to the 5th edition rules. And I still have my initiative cards here. So I got Gimbal, who had an AC of 13 and a passive perception of 12. I believe Gimbal was my good buddy Chad Nick's character. Maybe. No, or it may have been Jason's character. I can't remember. Celise, who was my friend Annalisa's character, she had an AC of 14 and a passive perception of 12. I, who was my wife Tila's character, who had an AC of 15 and a passive perception of 10. And my friend Josh had a character named Jacquier, who had an AC of 13 and a passive perception of 14. So I would use these little cards, I would put them across the top of my GM screen and use it to track initiative. And it was nice because the players could see what the initiative order was, but also it gave me easy access to know what their AC and their passive perception was. So that's something that I had tossed in there. So let's look in this box. It came with this awesome Starfield hex map, which is blank on one side and then just has the Starfield on the other side, because this box set actually came with miniatures, ship miniatures, which is awesome. So I'm going to set that aside for now. And then we've got this Concordance of Arcane Space. I saw a few people were talking about Blockbuster in the comments. There's a Blockbuster that's still functioning, still operating in Wasilla, Alaska. I was up there visiting some of my wife's family last summer, and we drove past, and there was a Blockbuster, and it was still open, which was amazing. And we walked in, and it was like a blast from the past, man. And they had like new movies that had come out. They had them on the shelves for rental because it's Wasilla, Alaska. There's like 20 people that live up there, and they don't have Redbox. So that's why the Blockbuster still exists. And also, the internet is super, super, super unreliable, so you can't just stream stuff. Yeah, it was cool to go in there, man. So that's one of the books that was included. Oh my gosh. Look at this. Character sheets. At least one. This was a... This must have been a character that I played. This is Diego Kelroth. I think I must have played him... Yeah, I must have played him on like a one-off session. I don't remember him. Oh my gosh. Oh, wow. There's like... I didn't even realize this stuff was in here. Look at this. Here's some... Here's some session notes from a session that I ran of Spelljammer. The party assembled on Cloud Breach, a city orbiting the gas giant Luron. They met the Kenku named Beak, who delved into the undertunnels and brought Imdur Skink to justice. Received the reward and purchased a rundown old hammer ship with the spacer Diego Kelroth. Okay, that's who this is. Whose brother and left leg were both taken by the spider. From there, they docked at Dire Forge on the broken planet Dagger. The city was built on the edge of the plunge, a great crack in the planet. They journeyed into these crevices and discovered an ancient temple where a great weapon was constructed to destroy the wealthy dwarven families attempting to sell off Dagger. There's a planet here called Skadoon. Imelson's Delve, Adheriest, an ancient dying world of flattened peaks and trackless wastes. Karguk Blacksail, an orc chieftain. Nenezu. Nenezu must be a dragon. This is really cool. This I totally forgot about the Warp Wars. One of the last populated towns on Adheriest, this town Skadoon. The town sits in the shadows of a massive ruined castle called Imelson's Delve. It is governed by an arcane sorcerer, a female human named Margit Walrune. Skadoon has several markets and a Spelljammer harbor. On this planet, 4 seasons pass in only a week, due to its rapid orbit around its blue supergiant star, a star called Edhair's Torch. A day happens in about 12 hours. Adherius is ruled by a powerful blue dragon named Nenezu. That's a cool idea, man. I need to remember that. Here we've got, I wrote down the stats for some ships that they were going to be fighting. I've got my... For some reason, I printed off the Eberron Unearthed Arcana, and I have it in here, so I must have been using it for something. Maybe races or... Oh, no, you know what I was using it for? I was using it for the... What are they called? Dragon Marks. I had Dragon Marks in my Spelljammer games, so I had it for that. Here's the rest of the character sheets. Sorry, this is like a trip down memory lane here. These are all the character sheets for the characters. There's Jacquier. He was a ranger. Gimbal Timbers, a rock gnome rogue. I recognize this handwriting. I think this is... Man, I can't remember who played Gimbal Timbers. That's so frustrating. And then here's I, who is my wife's character. Okay, now we're getting into the actual meat of the box. I also have... the their characters, their little miniatures that they had, are in there. So I basically just stored the campaign in here. Oh. Okay, so here's one of my favorite things about the... It's so cool. The Spelljammer box set came with these ship sheets, which had all the stats, as well as a schematic and blueprint of the, like a floor plan of the ships. So you had Hammer Ship, Dragonfly, Nautiloid, tradesman. Squid ship. Here's like super classic galleon. It just literally looks like a galleon, but you fly it around in space. And then I think... Oh, no, here's another one. Here's the dragon ship. Very cool. Man of War, which is probably my favorite. Very cool looking ship. The Wasp. A bunch of the elven ships were designed to look like animals. Here's the galleon, here's the squid ship. Dragonfly, Wasp. Here we go. This was the villain of the campaign. Hang on, where'd it go? Here it is. This was the villain of the campaign. It was a mythical ship called the Spider. In my campaign, the Spider was a drow ship. And the drow were... Basically, the drow were... they were driven insane by this magical energy called the warp. And no one even really knew that the drow existed. Because they evolved from this sort of clan of elves that went off looking for... salvation, for knowledge out in the depths of the void of space, and they became drow, and they designed this ship called the Spider, and it was like this mythical ship that was like, it was basically like the Black Pearl from Pirates of the Caribbean. So yeah, those are really cool, those ship sheets. And then this is really neat, there's these I mentioned that there are miniatures in this set, so they have these like silhouettes of the different ships, and you could cut them out, and then you would fold them on that dotted line, right? And then it came with these little stands, and these stands are, you see there's little perforations, you can snap them off. I'm not going to do that right now because I don't want to break them, but you could snap off the little stand and put the little foldy miniature on there, and then you'd have a little ship miniature for your ship, and you could have ship-to-ship battles on the space hex grid. So I love that. I love that kind of stuff. So that was cool to open that up and see that all the miniatures were still in there, almost completely intact. And then we've got some cool things. We've got the... this is a cool map. This is the namesake of the setting, the Spelljammer. It is a mythical giant ship shaped like a manta ray that has a city on top of it. Flies through space. Really cool. So there's a map for that in the different areas. And then we've also got, let's see what else is in here. This is, oh yeah. Okay, so planetary display map. This was, you could find out how far the planets were away from each other based on a bunch of different factors. So this was really cool, and you can see they've got Gray Space, which is Spelljammer Greyhawk, Realm Space, which is Spelljammer Forgotten Realms, and then they've got Kryn Space, Dragonlance. So that's really cool. Let me fold that up before it gets all wrinkled. Again, that's like the Spelljammer map. I want to get that framed. Here's some extra character sheets. Some more miniatures. Lore Book of the Void. There's a Beholder. And then here's kind of a cool, this is another cool map. Again, one that I want to get framed. This is, it's basically a big floating asteroid. It's called Brawl. So that's really neat. So you can see why I like really collecting these classic campaign setting box sets, because look at all the cool stuff that's in here, man. Like, it's so awesome. Just, you don't get this kind of stuff anymore. I like, I've been extremely pleased with the 5th edition product line, but I would love some box sets like this again, man. I would eat it up if it came with, like, maps and miniatures and, like, some cool stuff like the ship sheets and stuff. Like, I love that kind of stuff, and I feel like that there's a market for it, but it's just, it is expensive to produce this kind of stuff, and as I've gotten into publishing my own stuff, I've really found that, oh yeah, it is really expensive, so. And again, the box is absolutely trashed. Look at that. But I would like to get a better box at some point, or like get another like better in shape box set of Spelljammer. So I always keep my eyes out for these box sets whenever I go to a used bookstore or anything like that, because occasionally you get lucky, like I did with the Forgotten Realms set. Okay, so I'm gonna do one more here, and then we're gonna call it, and then I'm gonna do more videos to talk about the rest of the stuff on my shelf. And there's actually, I think I got through all my box sets. No, I didn't. I didn't get through all my box sets. Damn. I thought I was going to. There's still 2 more up there. Okay, well, this will be it for this video. This is my favorite one, and it's in pristine condition. This is one of the... It's probably my favorite campaign setting, my favorite published campaign setting of all time. It is... I just love it, and it informs like everything that I do in RPGs. It is the Dark Sun AD&D box set. Like, excuse my language, but this shit is so dope. Like, I love this box set. I scored this box set on eBay, and it's got tape on the edges, but, like, the stuff inside is in perfect condition. Okay, my phone's telling me low battery, so we're gonna get through this. But everything's in here, man. So here's the cover, right? TSR Incorporated Customer Response Card. Still in the box. When I cracked this baby open and I saw that sitting on top, I was like, yep. So, there's lots of cool stuff in here. Not as many cool things as like the Spelljammer box set, but one of the cooler things to come out of this box set are the aid cards. There's one for players and one for dungeon masters, and basically what you have here is a stand-up booklet that you can stand up at the table and flip through. And it had things like art that the Dungeon Master could show the players to describe different things, maps, isn't that cool? And for those of you who aren't familiar with it, Dark Sun is basically post-apocalyptic D&D where arcane magic has completely drained the planet of life. It's desert. You have to fight over water. You have to fight over metal. It's like savage sword and sorcery D&D, and I absolutely love it. I eat it up. I eat it up! And then the Dungeon Master's book has the adventure and how to use the player aid. So you basically set it up in front of you, like behind your GM screen or whatever, or use it as your GM screen and flip through it. So that's really cool. Then we have the rules book, which has the different player races and stuff that you could have in Dark Sun. There's like half-dwarves, Thri-Kreen, stuff like that. The different rules for psionics. This is where psionics comes from. If you like psionics, that's where it comes from, is Dark Sun. There's no arcane or divine magic. There's only psionics, the magic of the mind. And then you have the Wanderer's Journal, which is basically a world guide. It talks about all the different regions, all the different cultures, the different factions of the world of Athas, the world of Dark Sun. All right, now we get to the cool. This is the stuff that I love here, man. This beautiful, oh, I love it. I can't wait to frame it. A beautiful map of the city of Tyr, which is like one of the last great cities on Athas. Again, matte. I love the non-glossy maps, man. So I love that. I'll probably frame this at some point too, but check this out. This is the artwork of Braum. Braum was the chief artist on Dark Sun. He's still well known. He's actually, hang on. I just got this. Braum. He just did the 2D20 Modiphius Conan book. I just got this in the mail from the Kickstarter. Same guy. Same guy. Very cool. I love Braum, man. He's the only one that can live up to the Frazetta legacy with Conan. The other things that are included here. Another TSR advertisement. This is... Oh, yeah, I forgot about this. This is like short fiction. A little book of short fiction set in the world of Athas, which is really awesome. And there's some... there's a little adventure in here, which I love. Oh, yeah, this has the rules in it for running the flip books. These guys. The little flip book adventures. I wish they would have done more of those flip book adventures, man. That's cool. And then we have finally, we have the beautiful world map of Athas, the world of Dark Sun. On one side, we have the map. On the other side, we have the hex crawl. So that's the Dark Sun AD&D 2nd edition Dark Sun box set. Probably one of my most prized RPG possessions. Make sure that the TSR customer response card gets back in that box. So again, I scored this off of eBay, and I love it, man. It's one of my favorite things that I own. So there's that. So that is part 1 of my RPG collection. Thank you for hanging out, sticking with me, and watching it. This has been a lot of fun. Again, I'm going to do more of these, going through the books on my shelf. I thought I was going to get all the way through all of my box sets, but I'm looking now, and I still have a couple more up there. So we'll get to those in the next video, I think, because my phone is about to die. So again, everyone, thank you for hanging out. I hope you enjoyed looking at my RPG collection. I consider myself a bit of an RPG archivist. I'm not an expert by any stretch of the imagination, but I like getting these old box sets and these old books and preserving them and having them. Even if I don't use them, I find them very inspiring, and I find them culturally relevant and historically relevant to the hobby. So I like to collect that kind of stuff. And I like talking about the personal memories that I have attached to those things. So we're definitely going to be looking at more stuff from my shelf here in future videos. Whenever I get an hour or two, I'm going to hang out and do another one of these if you guys enjoyed it. So thank you for watching, everyone. Take care. Happy gaming all. And pick yourself up a 2nd edition box set if you got the time and the means.